This is the group chat. In a world that focuses on the individual, we live life in groups. The group chat is meant to spark meaningful conversations about meaningful topics. We think in community, talk in community, and thrive in community. Welcome to the group chat. Yo, 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 what's going on, runts? It's your boy Telos
and HB.
And this is the group chat, where we have meaningful conversations about meaningful topics.
Candy.
That's the first thing you think of?
Absolutely. You know those
Okay. That's the one with is really hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
breaks
it's
your teeth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the fruit candy, but it's like super
They're kind of
rock solid.
Yeah, they're
like chewing a pebble.
Different fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the only fruit candy that isn't chewy. Think about it. Fruit snacks. Oh, wait, Skittles. Never mind. No,
Skittles are chewy. I would say Skittles are chewy.
Yeah, they are.
Fruit candy.
Starburst.
Not chewy.
Mike and Ike's. Sour Patch Kid.
Laffy Taffy.
Laffy Taffy. Airheads. Jelly beans. Most candy is fruit flavored.
Okay, now think of
Like
harder candy.
Like a
Jolly Ranchers. There you go. That was a good one. I pulled that
Jolly
one out.
Rancher. Those joints can cut your tongue.
Jolly Ranchers are so bad for your teeth.
How dangerous is that? In all fronts. Think about it.
What fronts are you talking about?
Physically, my tongue is in danger. Emotionally, I'm scared.
What?
I'm scared that I'm going to cut my tongue. You ever cut your tongue?
Yeah.
It's horrible. You can't get away from it. And then it's also bad just, I guess, physically because you're a dentist. So maybe just on one front.
Okay.
Two fronts for me emotionally.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan. You know they have lollipop Jolly Ranchers too.
No.
A kid I was babysitting for wanted that and I was like, you shouldn't eat this.
Have you seen the Airhead bites?
Yes, they're so addicting.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
Really, really good. Really good.
Not the Airhead extreme bites that are like the sour ones, right?
No.
Yeah, those are good too. But
Sure.
they rip the top of your tongue, your top of your mouth up too if you eat too many.
All these candies, just dangerous.
But yeah, those are really good.
When I think of runts, I think of like a small punk kid, like as a runt.
You were a runt as a kid?
Absolutely not. What makes you think that?
Just asking.
No, it seems like you were assuming.
No, I was asking. I said, you were a runt as a kid? Question mark.
And then I said, absolutely not. You said,
Did I?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Just so natural. It's just so natural that I always assume that. Oh, if you had a chance to go to Mars for free for a year, would you do it?
A year?
Yeah.
How long does it take to get there? Is that included in my year? I feel like it takes a hot minute.
Great question. I have no idea.
I'm about to look that up.
See how long it takes.
That will take into consideration. How long does
because we might get there in our lifetime.
Get to Mars.
Like I'm sure somebody's gonna send like a ship. I don't know if like people will be able to live there for a year. Hold on. Let me guess.
Please guess. I was not thinking this.
Is it shorter or longer than you thought?
Very much longer. But I also don't know how long it takes to get to the moon, so I'll put that into. Okay,
are you looking at like a satellite, like a rover,
a spacecraft?
Okay,
departs Earth. I'll tell you at a speed of about 24,600 miles per hour. Carry the 2, add 4, and it's what that would be is about 39,600 kilometers per hour. That'll help you out. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I'll also tell you how many miles it is.
How many miles away?
3 million.
That's a long way. At 22,000 miles per hour. Oh, that is not fast enough. No, you go really fast in space, though. It's a vacuum. So you go super fast in space.
What is your answer?
It will take a spacecraft 4 years to get to Mars.
Oh, wow. That's way too much. 7 months.
Oh, I was like,
what was
shooting
in
for
your
the
head,
moon.
like, beforehand?
I was like, it's probably going to take like 6 weeks.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking a couple weeks.
Yeah.
7 months. So that's 714. That's a whole nother year to my travel. A year and 2 months to my travel.
7 months to Mars. Yeah. Have you seen Passengers?
Nope.
Really? Jennifer Lawrence, Chris Pratt
Nope.
on a ship.
No.
They wake up. Wow.
If you keep telling
Good
me
movie.
more about it,
I'm just gonna eventually see the whole
Yeah.
movie. They were on a super nice ship. So imagine like a cruise, but like, have you ever been on a cruise?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a cruise, but like way nicer. Obviously futuristic and everything.
Going to Mars?
They were going to they were going to a new planet.
Okay.
But so you wouldn't do 7 months.
Well, that's really 26 months of my life. What am I going to do there for a year?
Mars?
Yes.
You're gonna Mars around.
Mars around.
Mars around.
I
Would you
don't
go to
think
Mars
that's
for a year
term.
for free?
I don't think I would.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Nope.
Why wouldn't you? What would you do there?
My question is, yeah. I mean, maybe that, but why?
Same reason I don't want to live out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing to do.
Montana is beautiful.
Okay, that's different. Like, I'm not saying in the middle of nowhere. Like, there were things to do there.
Oh, well, what middle of nowhere are you talking about?
There's no other people there.
Where?
On Mars.
I thought we were talking about the United States. I was like, where are we right now? No, you're going with a whole crew of people. You're going with like a city.
A city?
Yeah, like 3,000
Tell us,
people.
You change questions all the time.
Because I'm in charge. I made up the question so I can decide.
Oh
So
my
no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go to Mars. I'm not too interested in space. I don't really care.
I don't either.
I have everything I need here.
I'd like to see the Northern Lights.
What does that have to do with space?
I just thought about that when I was thinking about when you said space.
Do you think the Northern Lights are in space?
I'm just saying, like, that's one of the... I didn't say that on my bucket list. I'd like to do that.
See the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
I thought you did say that.
Nope.
Cool.
You weren't paying attention, huh?
Obviously not. What did I say on mine? Name 3. Well, you're going to say
like to run a marathon. You'd like to go to every national... Don't mock me.
Those are the ones that everyone knows. So what's the other one?
Did you even say another one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and listen.
You would like to...
Do, 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 do.
Stop that.
Do, do, do. Boop, 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 boop.
You'd like to run a
I'm
marathon.
gonna
You
drink
would like
one of my
to
drinks.
go to every national park, and then you would also like I don't even remember what I said.
You said you shouldn't be offended because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Was it like write a book or something? I don't think you
Write
said
a book.
that. What are you doing?
I'm going to bring up our video. Have we ever brought up our video on our video?
No, I hate watching these things back. Oh my!
You know what?
goodness.
This is horrible media. I'm going to stop that now.
What was your other one?
I forgot. Ask me what we're talking about today.
What are we talking about?
Gonna get a good old HB drum roll real quick. We're talking about jealousy.
Oh,
Jealousy.
jealousy.
Isn't there a song Britney Spears like about jealousy or something?
I hadn't listened to it if it is a thing. Oh my goodness! Tell us.
It almost
just-
exploded.
Okay, you're drinking a greens drink,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're drinking a soda.
And drinking a green drink.
I love the.
No, they're
how
both
it
green
just-
drinks.
No,
They're both green. Tell me I'm wrong.
the drinks themselves are both not green. There is green on both of them.
Green on a drink.
No, on the bottles.
Oh, okay.
The Sprite bottle and then the...
Are you jealous of my bottles?
No.
Are you jealous of my collection?
No. No. I usually have lots of drinks too, but I'll just have one today.
Just one.
It's because I didn't go to Chick-fil-A.
That's what it is.
Jealousy.
Can you remember the last time you were jealous?
Ask you the same thing,
Wow.
Telos. The last time I was jealous. I think we have to define jealousy first.
Sure. Go ahead.
I was waiting on you.
Oh, you want me to define jealous?
Because whenever I define things, then we always change the definition.
Do we?
I feel oftentimes we do. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, oh gosh, tell us just getting things.
It didn't get anywhere though. Excuse me. But I meant anywhere on us.
Can I get it with my foot?
Don't touch the cat part of it. Okay, stop there. Okay, yes. Great. Wonderful.
I say that to say, like, then I'll give an example and then I'll be like, oh, that's not what we are defining jealousy as, or whatever it is. Ouch. I have an eyelash that's bothering my eye.
You heard that trick that you blow in your eye? Oh my Lord. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Beth. I meant somebody else blows in your eye. How in the how would you blow in your own eye?
Try that. You can do it.
Damn it, Beth. What is it? Stop.
You can feel that. Do that to
I
yourself.
have a beard. There's a force
No, there's
obstructing
not.
it.
Try it.
Have you had a beard before?
No.
Well, then you wouldn't know. See?
You can feel that.
Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. Anyway, we'll define jealousy as you want what someone else has. A coveting, a desire for what somebody else has.
Okay.
Technically, the word, I guess, is envy, but no one uses that word. Like, I'm envious, but it is a strong desire for what you don't have that somebody else has.
I don't know. It's not a lasting thing for me.
You're not actively jealous about.
No, I can't. I'm trying to think of the
anything.
last time. Like, okay, today, one of my friends is in South Africa. She's in Cape Town, and she posted these pictures, and I was like, oh, I miss Cape Town. I want to go back. I wish I was there. I wouldn't say I was jealous of her trip. Like, her trip, she did a safari and all the things. It looked so fun.
Do you think that you can be jealous for people and for things, or is it just jealous for people?
For people, you mean like the life that they're living type thing?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you can.
Can you be jealous for things too?
Yeah, I'm jealous that someone has those kicks that I want.
But then are you jealous of the person? Or are you jealous of the thing?
I don't know. I've not thought about that before. I've thought about more just like the goal is like, I want those shoes, or whatever it is. Or I want that lifestyle.
Right. Because I don't think it's jealousy when I say I want $10 million.
Yeah.
But it could be jealousy if I say, you have $10 million. I want $10 million. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't both could be good or bad depending on what you do with it, maybe.
Yeah.
But typically, I think that jealousy usually is directed at a person.
Mm. Yeah.
Maybe that's not entirely true 100% of the time. But I think typically when we account for jealousy, it's like, I want what I want their
something
grades.
They have, yeah.
I want their family. I want their money, neighborhood, job, title, whatever. I want to go to that school. I want that phone or those shoes. And it's because we see somebody who has it already.
That has it.
Which makes me think, would we be as jealous if we weren't so observant of everybody else's things? Right? Like if I didn't know that everyone had all these things, would I be as jealous as I am?
Well, no. But jealousy wouldn't be a thing then, because if you didn't know that anyone had anything.
So I guess what I'm getting at is is the
I see. Okay, I see
stuff
what you're
that
saying.
all we see, right? That we put in front of ourselves.
Yes. So like if I were to be like on
Right.
Nike's website
Sure.
and was like, man, I want those kicks.
Mhm.
I'm jealous.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense.
Sure.
Like, okay, well, buy them or don't,
Right.
know? I see what you're saying now.
But
'Cause
if you go on
then-
Instagram,
But if I go on Instagram
Mhm.
and someone has those, I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm jealous. I want those too.
so is there
I
a
see what
way
you're
that we
saying.
can turn down our jealousy by? So I think about it this way: you go on mission trips, right?
Yeah.
You go on mission trips, and typically you're on a mission trip, you're like hardly on your phone. You're not in your normal routine of life
Yeah.
where you're doing everything that we are so obsessed with doing in Western
Yeah.
culture. And in that, you have this like retreat. In the first day, you're like, oh man, this is so different. Whoa, like I don't really know what to do with my hands. Like, what is happening? And then depending on how long you're there, over the course of time, you realize, whoa, I feel way better, not in my normal routine. Typically is the story that I hear people telling. So in that scenario of I have stopped putting so many different things in front of me that make me jealous,
Yeah.
is there a way that we can turn down our jealousy that's aimed typically at people if we stop aiming all of our attention at people via Instagram or whatever?
I think so. I mean, I was talking to someone today about just like what you put in front of you, or like even just the people that you surround yourself with. Like those are the people. Like that's what you know. Then like that's what you're seeing. So therefore, that's like whether it's like conscious or subconscious. Like that's what you're gonna become. And so, I think in the same when it comes to jealousy, like if we're going with that, it's like if you're putting those things around you, like that's what you're feeding yourself, then that last little bit of that is nasty, isn't it?
Grainy. It's like I'm chewing it.
Gritty. Oh, tell us. That's nasty. Yeah, I think it's like that's what you're putting. That's what you're feeding yourself. So that's what is going to come out. Oh, well, I want those things.
Sure. Is jealousy bad?
Yeah. Thou shalt not covet.
Thou shalt. We use the New King James Version. That's how you know
Thou
it's bad.
shalt.
That's how you know. Why?
Because it's desiring what someone else has and you don't, and we shouldn't be doing that. Like being content with what we have. And I think like to an extent, like, okay, well, I will run with shoes. Like I want a new pair of shoes because mine are falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think that's wrong. And I like theirs. I'm jealous that they have those and I don't. I do need a new pair of shoes, so I'm going to get those. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's really what jealousy is. It's not necessarily I'm just desiring something. And I'm like, I think when you're jealous, there's like another feeling of like anger or frustration that comes with it. And it's not just like, oh, they have something and I want it. Keep it pushing.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's a thought of like that old saying of the grass is always greener. You're looking over the fence and seeing, oh, well, they have an apple bush or an apple tree, and I don't have an apple tree. I want an apple tree. And I think it has something to do with, at least if you're following Jesus, that if we believe that God has given us everything, when we look and see what somebody else has, we start to, I don't know if it's like become dissatisfied with, discontent with, or maybe just angry at God for what he has given us, that he hasn't given us what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at a base level, like I think the reason why it's wrong and a sin towards God is because that action of jealousy is saying that God is not very good to me, or at least not as good to me as he is to somebody else. And if we truly think that like God is going to give us everything that we need, then our maybe it's not an accusation, but our feeling of jealousy, of looking over the fence or wanting what they have, coveting what that person has, is not just directed at that person, but then it has to be directed at God, because we're saying, God, you didn't give me that. You're not that good.
Yeah.
And I think when we start to question the goodness of God or character of him, it starts to reveal in us that ultimately, like, we're not satisfied in him ultimately. And giving him glory with the life that we do have. And I think that has to deal with discontentment. And I think it also leads to horrible things.
Oh, yeah. You just get wrapped up in it, and it's a downward spiral.
Yeah. Like I can only, like, you ever heard of those, there are some of my friends who listen to podcasts about like true crime and all that type of stuff. And like all of these crimes that are like a crime of passion. That's like people did something because they felt so strongly, typically a guy or a girl or somebody cheated or somebody did whatever, right? And it's like this crime of passion because someone cared so much. And I think those typically come out of jealousy, that you did something that should have been done to me, or you didn't do something that you did for somebody else, or I want you and I can't have you, or they have you and I like that act of jealousy. I think if we treat it as simply or as quietly as like, oh, it is what it is, I'll just keep it to myself, it can form in like completely devastating ways.
Yeah.
You can start like to cheat on tests because you think that they have a better grade and they're going to give them better school, so I need to get that grade, so I'm going to cheat on this test. I'm going to make sure that I kind of like figure out how to get some more money out of this company, even though it's not what I deserve, because I want to live how they live.
Yeah.
Or I want to show off this because they get more attention. And I think if we treat it as quietly as like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, it just lives in my head, it's just jealousy, I just want what they want, then we're not realizing the true scope of what jealousy could be. And like that's super dramatic, but I also think
I think I totally agree with that. Yeah.
How do you think we're supposed to fight against it? So if it is bad, right, what are we supposed to do? If I feel jealous for somebody's shoes, somebody has the new Jordans I want, new Yeezys or red bottoms or whatever you want to say, they have the new shoes, I want those shoes.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Well, I think like going back to what you said of just like when we are jealous, and it's whether or not it's seeping into other areas of our life, it's showing kind of like our true colors, if you want to say that, and just like, well, where do we find our contentment? Is it in things? Is it in, because like you could be jealous of someone's like giftings, like not just something that like is tangible, like I could go to the outlets and buy, and so I think just at the end of the day, like coming back to like, what are the gifts that God has given you? Like whether that is ability in sports, ability to speak, ability to dance, like those things, or it's just like, okay, well, like what are the areas of my life what has God given me tangibly, like where has he provided for me?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think when you're able to be content in those areas, then you're less likely to be jealous of other people's. But you have to have a right view of God and know like how he's providing for you, because when you don't, then you're constantly like, I don't have this. And then like you said, it's like easier to then point the finger at God in it. And so having that right view of God by reading your Bible, like point blank.
Yeah. And if you don't have that, I'm not sure what standard you have to base off anything.
Sure.
Excuse me. I don't think that there's like other than you just trying to not be jealous, willpower. I don't know another way to do that. If you don't trust God that he is going to be good to you in the same way that he was good to somebody else, as a believer, I don't know what to tell you. So I think like the right view of God, if you're not seeing him rightly, then you're setting yourself up to have a wrong view of everybody else too.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as that, like a true contentment in what God has given you and an appreciation that God has been good to me. I think something else that is a benefit or a deterrent towards jealousy is actually celebration. That you celebrate what somebody else has.
Yeah.
And that, I think, affects the way that you feel towards them and even that thing. They got the new Jordans. I want the new Jordans. And I text him, bro, those look so dope. I'm so happy for you. You looked great in those. That changes my heart from being covetous, coveting what they want, to being celebratory of what they have.
I love that. I think that's even like when we pray, like coming to God, not like complaining, but like
Sure.
thanking God for things. Even if it's like something that we are fighting and we're struggling with, like we are declaring and proclaiming, like God, an addiction, like God, I'm thanking you, and I'm declaring like I am going to be set free from this. And so
Sure.
like, and even like, I mean, you could say celebrating, but proclaiming those things in advance, even if you can't see it right now. And so like celebrating those things, even if like you feel jealous right now, it's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to fight against that. Like the complete opposite of what
Yeah.
the world would tell me to do.
Yeah.
And go the other way.
Yeah. And it doesn't totally apply, but Jesus has blessed those who persecute you. And I think it's kind of the same spiritual discipline that I'm going to do contrary to what my flesh wants to do, and my flesh wants to covet after something.
Yeah.
I want what you have, or you hurt me, so I want to hurt you. Instead, I do the opposite of what my flesh wants to do, and I celebrate you, or I pray for you, or I bless you. And that principle, which is consistent through a Christian life and the teachings of Jesus, does something to you that you're at the same time honoring the person and what God is doing in their life, and you're honoring God by treating them the way that God wants you to treat them. And so the Christian life is always so backwards from what your flesh wants to do. So I think like that contentment, being content in what I have, not looking over the fence, is like to see where I get my value, as well as celebrating somebody else. I think those are great ways to fight against jealousy.
For sure. Good stuff, man.
Any more thoughts?
Nada.
Nope. We just solved the world's problem with jealousy, huh?
Pretty much.
Good job. Well, everybody, this is the group chat where we have meaningful conversations about meaningful topics. I'm Telos.
I'm HB.
Make sure, Runts, that you guys talk with your friends about jealousy. And if you're jealous about somebody, why don't you celebrate them? And if you're jealous, how about let's look to see what God has already given you. Make sure that you guys have these conversations wherever you are at in your group chat, because this is the group chat where we think in community, we talk in community, and we thrive in community. We hit it. You guys are the best Runts ever. Love y'all so much. Peace.